I started receiving messages. You know how sometimes you get a text from an unknown number that just says, "Hi." I block them, but sooner or later that same hi pops up from another number, and I block that one. Well, this started out like that, only the first message wasn't hi. It was, "We are not dead." They claimed to be using a future technology to send messages back in time, a warning of the world to come. The Horror Eternal presents We Are Not Dead, Chapter 6, The Heralding Noose. I ran late on my route, a few minutes reading texts here, a few there, each break shaving minutes off my time. Had to get a rescue around 7 o'clock, first time since I was training. The text ended just before the last stop. I'd returned my truck and the keys and was about to head home when the familiar text chime jolted me with an alert rush. I opened the screen as I started to drive, only to see that it had not come from the future, but from the cold, hard present day instead. The name on the contact screen was as horrifying to me as any story of alien watchers from the future. Alma, my ex-girlfriend. We hadn't spoken since she came over with Duke. Yeah, her new man's name was Duke. To move her stuff out, a status I'd prefer to maintain. Still, I had to see what it said. I clicked on the screen and opened it. The words ground into my eyes and my mind. "Can I see you?" Shit. Before I even knew what I was doing, my fingers had already typed and sent the reply. When? Bad move. Why would I do that? I screamed inside. The answer was immediate. Now? Shit. Where? My fingers betrayed me again, instinctively shooting off a response before my good sense could step in and put an end to it. Not long after, I found myself at the North Hollywood diner, sitting across from Alma. When I came in, she was already inside, waiting. She got up and gave me a hug like you'd give a cousin or some such distant family member. It even came with a hollow, "How are you?" We sat, and I cut straight to the chase. "What do you want?" She hesitated for a heartbeat, then jumped right into her conversation as if we were just meeting up after work and nothing had ever happened. "You remember the dream you told me about from when you were a kid? The person standing at the door at the foot of your bed?" "Of course," I said. "Well, the craziest thing happened to me now twice in the new apartment. I tried to tell Duke about it, but he just laughed at me. Doesn't believe in those kinds of things. Thinks I'm childish." "What happened?" I asked. "I woke up in the middle of the night, a couple weeks ago, and there was a figure standing in front of the window at the foot of the bed. Mostly it was a silhouette. It was dark, light coming through from the shades, but I could tell it was a man, a male figure. He just stood there for a while, staring. He didn't do anything. I stayed completely still, held my eyes half open to look. Then after a while, I think I nodded off and it was gone." "That's it?" "That's it. Isn't that the same thing you told me happened to you when you were a kid?" "Yeah, pretty much. But if I remember, my guy was standing behind the door. I could see him half exposed in the shadows." I already felt like my back was against the wall coming into this meeting. Now I had the added sensation of someone lobbing a grenade of déjà vu and coincidence at me. It was true. I'd had a couple of weird experiences when I was a kid, I remembered, but didn't think about them much. I must have told Alma when we first met, when I was still half a kid of 19 or 20. Surprised she remembered. But dredging it up also hit me with the striking similarities to the story of the Watchers in the future. I started to feel a little wobbly. Right. Well, just like you, it appeared to me again. I woke up a couple nights ago and there it was. Only this time it seemed to be wearing a suit, like a military dress uniform. Then it changed, morphed, and it was Jesus, I think, with the long hair and the sash around the waist. Then all of a sudden it leaped at me and I kicked and swung my fist, but nothing was there. Just like what happened to me, I added. Right? I sat quietly. Alma stared expectantly. She was looking for something, a connection, but I only felt a disconnect. Yes, her story was the same as what I had told her happened to me as a child, but the trust needed to make that connection wasn't there. "What are you thinking? What do you think it means?" she continued. I think, I started, that the guilt you feel for leaving me for some rando actor you met in a play is getting to you. Your mind is creating excuses for you to end up sitting where you are right now. Oh God, get over yourself. Everything's not about you. Get over it. I'm just saying, Alma persisted. No, really. What do you think it means? I thought for a moment. It was weird considering the texts. Was there something more to all of this than I was seeing? I did have these experiences as a kid. There was another time. My dad had set up a tent in the backyard, the big, full family-size camping tent, so I could camp out in it overnight. I'd woken to the sound of voices speaking loudly from inside the house, only to find these figures standing lined up against the walls of the tent surrounding me. I was terrified, shut my eyes and pretended to be asleep. I peeked through my half-open lids, but only at the lower half of their bodies. I couldn't see their faces. I don't remember a lot of detail about them, but I do know I thought they were aliens. Eventually, I made myself go back to sleep. In the morning, they were gone. I knew I wasn't dreaming, but I also didn't know what to make of it. But thinking about it now, it was an almost identical situation as the stories I'd been reading from the future. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I started. This is gonna sound a little crazy, so bear with me. I've been receiving these texts. They claim to be coming from... I paused. They claim to be coming from the future. Alma let out a dismissive laugh. What? Like I said, bear with me. So apparently in this future these things appear. Some kind of strange aliens. They don't do anything. They just stand around and watch. So they call them Watchers. Wait, what? I just think these stories have a striking similarity to the experiences I told you about from when I was a kid, and that you now say are happening to you. What does that mean? Well, I'm getting these anonymous texts for the last week, and now here we are sitting together at dinner. And makes me wonder if maybe it's you who's sending them. What? Fuck you. I haven't texted you anything until tonight. You're the writer, not me. I just act, you know that. I nodded my head slowly. My mouth nodded up in a doubtful manner. You sure about that? Of course I'm sure. Show me what you're talking about. I opened the text chain from the unknown number, scrolled back to the beginning, and handed it to Alma. She started reading, slowly rolling up the screen as she went. The waitress came over. I ordered a scrambled egg, bacon, and toast, coffee to drink. Alma ordered a cottage cheese and a cup of tea. I waited patiently as she read. You wrote all this? She asked, eyes never leaving the screen. No, I told you. Someone just started sending them. Well, it's a pretty unique idea. Maybe you should take them and start writing. Maybe a series pitch or a movie. What have you got to lose? How's the writing going anyway? That's not, I said. What happened? You're really good. Well, my girlfriend dumped me for the first actor she met in a play. Not an excuse, she replied. I'm serious. You could do something with this. I hadn't thought of it, but she was probably right. Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't write it, so... The waitress arrived with our food. Alma continued to read as I ate. She picked at hers a little. We didn't talk. As I ate, Alma reading, a cold chill came up in the air, and I noticed a slight rattling in the window frame to my side. I leaned in, placed my hand on the glass. I could feel a very faint vibration. I looked at the air vents, but the air conditioner didn't seem to be on. It was late. There was a chill outside. Still, sometimes the stat gets set in the day and no one changes it, but this felt like something different. Almost like I'd felt it inside, too, in the lining of my guts. You have the guy receiving the text on stage reading them. That way, the future imagery is left to the audience's imagination. I couldn't help but slip on my own sarcasm. Yeah, and Duke could play him. What is it with you? And anyway, why can't it be a girl who gets the text? Why is it always a guy? Sure, why not? I'm just trying to help you out. You're the writer. You should be coming up with this stuff. That's where you fall short. You're extremely talented, but you don't have initiative. Hold on. I sold a script, moved us to LA, got hired on a writer's room, and I don't have initiative. What have you done? Audition? A play? What have you done since? It's not a competition. I'm an actor. Auditioning is initiative. You want to be so competitive, but you don't want to take any initiative. I'm not competitive. You're criticizing me. Constructively, though. This doesn't feel very constructive, I said. Remind me what I'm here for again. You're missing it entirely. I had some weird experiences only you could relate to. I came here to share them with you, and it's led to this discovery. This is the universe in motion, Evan. My mindset coach says that the ideas we get now are actually coming from our future selves. You're already successful at some point in the future, and the ideas you have now are coming to you from that successful future state. If you learn how to listen to those things, they will lead you to that future self. There was a sudden jolt. Goosebumps shot up to a tension across my entire body. The vibration I'd felt was suddenly moving through everything around us, like the volume had suddenly been cranked up. My first thought was earthquake, but nothing was shaking. Then a booming sound rose up in the air. It was everywhere, like the sound of trumpets, the worldwide event I'd read about in the text. I knew immediately that this was it. Confusion wrinkled across Alma's forehead. Our eyes met. "What's happening?" she asked. I didn't respond, just slipped out from my seat, put out my hand for Alma to follow. She took it and slid out from her seat. We walked to the entrance. Several other customers moved in the same direction. We went out to the parking lot and looked up to the sky where the powerful sounds seemed to be coming from. It was a clear night. The sky was black. You didn't see a lot of stars in the city, but you could see the brighter ones. There was something unnatural about this sky. It was different, as if there were no space beyond. Just a wall of suffocating blackness holding the earth in its grip. Before long, everyone was outside staring up. People came out from nearby stores and apartments. Cars stopped in the streets. The drivers got out, all of us looking up to the grandiose sound in the sky. There was a notable lack of fear in everyone around us. Confusion and curiosity for sure, but the vibration had a kind of calming effect, reassuring. Then several flashes of light streaked across the sky like the reflection off a windshield in motion. The first was purple, the second a light green. The sound continued steadily for about 10 minutes straight. Then it began to slowly dissipate over the next 20 to 30 minutes, lingering a while at that faint level I first detected. Even as the sound began to fade, everyone stood listening at attention, and when at last it was gone, everyone began to applaud. There were tears in many eyes. If they only knew the terror this harbinger proclaimed. Alma held my hand tightly throughout, and when the applause erupted, she turned to me with tears in her eyes and placed her arms around me, holding my body against hers. She looked me in the eyes, deeply, penetrating, with the look I'd not seen since we were first together in our first year in college. She kissed me like that same young woman. I led her back inside. This time, she sat next to me on my side of the booth. I opened the text chain and scrolled to the description of the events that we had apparently just experienced. She read and continued through the subsequent text, remaining silent the entire time. When I woke in the morning, Alma was gathering her things to leave. She caught my eyes, and a look of distress came over her. "I can't find my keys," she said. "Do you know where I put them? I've got to get out of here. Duke's gonna be coming home soon." "Where is he?" "He works overnight stocking at the Walmart neighborhood market." "Ah, I see. I think they're on the counter in the kitchen, or the coffee table." She started toward the door, then turned back. "Look, last night, all of it was weird. I don't know. I think this was a bad idea. I got carried away, so can we just act like this never happened? I don't want there to be any expectations." "Sure," I said. She turned and went out the door. I sat up and listened to her rattling around in the front room until I heard the jangle of keys, followed shortly by the door opening and closing behind her. Then a text came through on my phone. If you have enjoyed this program, please like, review, and share. Spread the word. Help us build an audience to change the future. The Horror Eternal presents We Are Not Dead. Written, produced, and performed by Roy Burdine. Sound design and mix by Mark Labib. The Horror Eternal and We Are Not Dead are copyright 2025 Roy Burdine. This has been a Spiral Opus audio production. Also from Spiral Opus, don't miss Mindraker, Background Anger, the story of a psychic assassin on a mission from God. Season 1 available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Monster Forge. We make monsters.